Break sword, she's good there. Here's Bahamut. This should do pretty good damage. Yeah. Nice. Two Dark Matters, so yes, that's going to be Shadow Flare. That's on the Grand Cross piece. Ooh, pretty low damage on the Shadow Flare, huh? That's what I like to see. Alright, here, down goes all Majesty. Here's the second use of Magic Lamp. So now it's everything I've got at Grand Cross. Even though Shadow Flare is doing an embarrassingly low damage. Shadow Flare is really not doing so well. His magic... I guess his magic score is pretty low. Oh, she didn't... it didn't have her do Flare Sword. Should have had her do Flare Sword. Getting ready for Grand Cross. I don't think it's going to get to it, though. Is the thing. Sorry, Grand Cross. I don't think you're going to get to it. I don't think you're going to get there. Yeah. It's not going to get there. Didn't think so. Yeah, I'll go ahead and have her do Flare. Fine, fine, fine. That's a nice chunk. Maybe I'll have you do that. Yeah, his magic's pretty low. His magic's pretty low. Alright, now we got Flare Sword. Let's see. I'm just mostly curious on how much damage it'll do. Alright, Pumas are gone. Where is... There's Excalibur. That works nice. Okay. And that's all she wrote. That's Neo X-Death. That's the toughest enemy in the game. Let me get my screenshot here. While we're fading. Alright. And that's it. That's run 10. Chemists really made that a joke. I liked the last run I had Bards making it a joke, and then this time Chemists really make that battle just trivial. Just trivial. Explanation of what I did there. During the very first part of the Tree X-Death form is his least dangerous part. He only does either attack, white hole, or nothing on each of his turns. So sometimes he actually just doesn't act. White hole does the death and stone thing, but it is a hit percent thing. So if your levels are high enough, you can have a nice evade on that because of the level difference on the hit percent. So anytime you can buff your levels, change your levels, you can really cheese things on Neo X-Death like that. So I put haste drink on everybody. I had reflect rings on them just to protect from the back part of X-Death, but I didn't probably even need those because as you saw, the back part only got off one Blizzaga spell. And it was reflected back and it hit it, but but the way my levels were and I had shell and everything on, it probably didn't really need that. But I had ways to get haste, so I didn't need the Hermes sandals. So I hasted myself, put on the dragon armor, which gives you shell protect, or just buffs your defense on magic and physical attacks. And then I just sat there buffing up my levels by 10 every time with those Samson powers. And I could have probably done some dragon armor, dragon powers, which put your levels up by 20 instead of by 10. Yeah, potion and dragon fang. I probably could have done a few of those too, but I don't know why I was so judicious with my dragon fangs, but I was just bumping up by 10. And that, your level goes into your damage formula for physical and magic and throw and Jill toss and everything. Your level figures into that a lot. So if your levels are super high, you can just burn through things if your levels are really high. So I buffed everybody's level up and just kind of healed after whenever he did a physical attack that landed on me, but because I had Protect on, once I got Protect on, his physical attacks weren't quite killing me, and one of the mixes is that Drain Kiss, that Succubus Kiss, that does a really high magic damage, magic attack drain spell, which damages him a little bit, but also fully heals us. That kind of helps us, gets a start on that. So I didn't have to use any elixirs in that battle, I don't think. But once my levels were high enough, I decided when they were high enough. I just went on the offensive, and you saw I took down Tree X-Death in not one round, but in just a few rounds. He only got a couple actions off. He didn't try a white hole. And in his later stages, when he gets down in his hit points, he can cast Meteo, which is pretty dangerous. For my party, even at the high levels that we were, that doesn't change your hit point total, so we had very low hit point totals with our levels. And then with Neo X-Death, the Almagest piece, the bottom part, is susceptible to break. Break Sword will hit it with 100% chance to hit, although with my levels buffed up so high, I probably could have gotten an easier, it probably could have just cast Break on it and gotten it to hit after, a couple of tries. Normally, if you don't have Break Sword, you have to cast Break a lot on it, because you have like a 7% chance to hit if you're at level 20-something. That goes up if your levels go way up, though, of course. You can get that up to 50% or so. So I got the Almagest piece down with Break Sword. And then I used the Magic Lamp twice during the first part of the battle to cycle it down to where Odin was next. And then I focused everything. I left the magic part in the back for last because I can one-shot that one with the Magic Lamp. I could also have maybe left the Almagest piece, but I didn't want that one alive and casting Almagest on me. The magic part's not too bad because it does the Delta attack, which is the Petrify, and then the Aga spells and Flare and Holy maybe. But with Reflect Rings on, literally nothing it can do could hurt me. It can cast Dispel, but I don't think that works if you have Reflect Ring. It can take Reflect off if you cast it, but it won't affect the Reflect Ring. So I focused everything on the Grand Cross piece, and it never actually got a Grand Cross off because I was dumping so much damage on it, throwing the Fuma Shurikens and whatnot, Shurikens, I should say, and whatnot on it. And once that piece was dead, I focused on the front physical piece, which also only got a couple of actions on me, between casting of flares and then Bahamut and the Fumas, throwing the Fumas and the Excalibur, got 9999. Love that number on Neo X-Death. Like to see that. And then when that was 3 parts down, and Neo X-Death, whenever there's 1 part remaining, it goes into this Berserk mode where it, on every action, it will do 2 really, really tough things. It'll do Vacuum Wave, which is a big physical attack. It can do Comet, which is actually one of the better things that it can do. It can do Almagest, which is the all-targeting holy magic spell. Then it can also do Meteo, which is also the all-targeting. So you never want to have one piece left for very long. You want to be able to either kill the last, whichever two parts you want to do last at the same time, like in the same hit, generally with a summon or with a Jill Toss or something, or try to get them on the very next hit. So kind of conventional X-Death battle, depending on what party setup you have, is to take out the Almagest piece with break somehow, with Shote or with Spell Break or Break Sword, or you can even reflect a Delta attack from the magic part back to it. Take out the Almagest piece, and then you can take out the magic part with the magic lamp thing, get the back part out of the way, and then you whittle down the Grand Cross and the physical part evenly to try to get them within a round or so of each other. The front part has 50,000, and I think Grand Cross piece has 55,000. So you try to whittle those down to where you can kill them both in one shot, or with consecutive shots. But if you can keep the magic one alive to use the magic lamp at the end, like with reflect rings or something like that, like I was able to with this one, that's really handy. But normally you have everybody with Hermes sandals in this battle, because you really need that speed. And if you're trying to cast haste on yourself and you have reflect rings, you can't actually cast it on yourself if you have reflect rings. You'd have to get reflect on X-Death somehow. You have to be maintaining it and all that. So it's hard without that. But with Chemist, you can put haste on people through a reflect ring. So that works out nice. So I'm going to be finishing the stream here. I'm going to let the final cutscene play out, but I may get off camera and off mic to let the final cutscene play out, and then I will get my victory tweets ready. And hopefully tomorrow I can sign up for and begin a new Fiesta run, which will be cool. So with that, I'm going to sign off myself. I'm going to let the stream keep running to just get the rest of this ending cutscene on Twitch and export to YouTube, so I can go back and capture screenshots of my characters. But I hope to be streaming again later this week, and I'll be looking at this stream configuration, because if this works, I may stick with this, because this is nice and handy for me to set up and get going. So, from me to you, adios, and we'll see you maybe next week for streaming.
you.